You're like investing and making these decisions and actions that are creating this generation of momentum. And when you have momentum, you know you have it. It kind of feels like the wind is on your back and you're doing well. Things are moving forward. You feel like you're progressing. There's energy inside of you that makes you feel more motivated, and the momentum is driving you forward. Again, that momentum is created by the consistent churn of the energy of positive decisions in action stacking up on one another, and a momentum can start to get very strong and help you a lot. All right, my friend, welcome back to another episode here on the Fit Father Project and the Fit Mother Project podcast. Again, this is Dr. A, and today I'm going to be talking to you about what I think is one of the most profound concepts that I've come to realize after studying and coaching health and nutrition for coming up on 2 decades now, and is the idea that your health journey is all about managing momentum. And I want to define this for you. I want to lay out a little argumentation line for you and help you understand this concept and reflect and apply it to your life, because I think it's truly can be game-changing in the way you approach and understand and think about your health. So for this discussion, I'm going to talk about momentum and define that as energy in motion. Momentum is energy in motion. And energy, as it relates to your health, is created by the clusters of decisions that you're consistently making. So to make this very practical, when you feel like you have good momentum with your health, you're often nailing consistent healthy meals, getting to the gym and getting motion and workouts in on a regular pulse. You're like investing and making these decisions and actions that are creating this generation of momentum. And when you have momentum, you know you have it. It kind of feels like the wind is on your back and you're doing well. Things are moving forward. You feel like you're progressing. There's energy inside of you that makes you feel more motivated, and the momentum is driving you forward. Again, that momentum is created by the consistent churn of the energy of positive decisions in action stacking up on one another, and a momentum can start to get very strong and help you a lot. Now, how do we start to generate momentum? And I also want to talk about what happens when we lose momentum and how this whole process can reverse on itself and we can actually get into a rut. These are really important things to understand, because if for the rest of your life you can keep a trend of largely positive and forward momentum, that means you're clustering good decisions, you're feeling good about the process, and it's going to be really rewarding and easier for you to sustain this stuff over the long haul. We always got to think about momentum. So one of the first key things to actually start to generate momentum, if you're feeling like you're at a place in your life where you're actually stuck and you're not moving forward, like there's no motion, no energy in action, is to get a plan, to get a structured plan, one that helps tell you this is what to do. That helps you dial in a nutrition structure and system. So you have a plan for what you do and wake up every day. That's the architecture on which you can hang good decisions. A good decision for breakfast. I got my go-to breakfast in, I feel great. I ate a pretty healthy lunch, which is awesome too. When you start to do this day in, day out, and you're slapping these good decisions on architecture and structure, you start to get momentum. So structure is key. Now, once you have that structure in place and you're doing well, how do you sustain the momentum? And how do you make sure that the momentum stays in a direction and it doesn't start to shift? One thing that I think is really effective is in the beginning of your health journey is to set time-constrained goals. There's a reason that the first phase of our Fit Father and Fit Mother programs are 30-day focused programs. It takes maybe a week or so to get set up, to go through read through the meal plan, get through the setup steps, write your mission statement. And then from there, we have a 30-day focus period where we're generating a lot of momentum, and it's time constrained. Your body and your mind can get around and get behind a very specific time constrained goal. Starts to give you a little more energy because there's a container. It's not like I'm being healthy into the endless bliss. I'm really working on the stuff over 30 days. There's energy that comes from any kind of time constrained goal. So that's good. But what's also super important is weekly check-ins and pulses, because what a lot of our Fit Father and Fit Mothers find is that they're doing well for a certain amount of time, and then stuff starts to slip up. Maybe it's just like things got busy, stuff happened with your kids, work got a little stressful, and maybe it starts to unwind. The momentum starts to unwind from, I didn't exercise as much as I wanted to this week. And then because you didn't exercise, you didn't feel quite as energetic. And then maybe you get even a little more stressed at work because you're now feeling a little tired and cranky. And then you decide to start eating some sugary crap after dinner that night. And then you feel guilty the next day, and then you don't really get on the next healthy meal, and then you can see how this momentum collapses into itself. And it's actually just the negative momentum, the stuff that's moving in this other direction that starts to take you from that positive moving force. It starts to reinforce itself and move you in a direction that's sliding you backwards. How do we prevent that from happening? Well, we have weekly check-ins sprinkled throughout the week where you're having these pause points where you can evaluate where you're doing, how things are moving with your momentum, so that little deviations don't turn into big slips and backfalls. This is why in our 30-day program, the phase ones of our programs, we're emailing you every single day, because we know that momentum is precious and needs to be built. And we're giving you accountability emails, check-ins, and extra training and information every day to really help pump you up. And as you graduate and you move on to our more advanced programs, we make those check-ins a couple times throughout the week. We do a check-in in the beginning of the week and prep ahead so we can be like, okay, how was last week? What did we learn? Where's our momentum? What are we going to shift to move that momentum into the next week and make it more productive? What changes are we going to make? And then at the end of the week, we have a little evaluation heading into the weekend. How was the Monday through Friday thing looking over the weekend? Are there any hurdles and challenges that might derail our momentum? What is the plan? So this is like simple stuff, but people don't do this. These are little checkpoints throughout the week where you have the opportunity to evaluate in which direction is your momentum moving, and do I want to move it in a different direction? This is foundational stuff. And these checkpoints might lead you to this experience. Man, this week was rough. Work was stressful. I didn't sleep that well. I'm seeing that some momentum is shifting back on me in what we'll call the negative direction in this sense. And then you have the check-in point on Friday and you're like, what am I going to do this weekend? Well, I'm going to get to bed earlier on Friday night. I'm going to get at least one workout in over the weekend, and I'm going to do a fasting day to get my body feeling a little lighter. Boom. You just took actions to shift momentum. Whereas what can happen to a lot of people if they don't have this system in place of evaluating momentum through weekly checkpoints is that bad week turns into a bad weekend, turns into a bad week, month, and then you're up 20, 30 pounds and then you're feeling like crap. We just don't want to let those shifts be too off course. It's like, we hear this analogy all the time, but it's true. An airplane flies from point A to point B in a series of small zigzags and micro corrections. So how do we put up these guardrails for micro corrections? Weekly check-ins are huge. Other things that are really key for momentum is being surrounded with like-minded people. So it's really important to understand that our experience, even our moods and our mindsets are a byproduct of largely our environments. It's like the kind of air we're breathing, the water we're in, and mostly I'm really talking about on the emotional side of things is like, do we have supported, like-minded, like awesome people that are getting after life and like filling us up? Like that gives us momentum. We can borrow momentum and energy from like-minded communities. That's why in our programs, our Fit Father and Fit Mother groups, where all the members are in there with me and the trainers, are so huge because they're just like a pool that you can jump into at any time for like recharge momentum, both in seeing, the triumphs of other people on the program, some questions that you're getting answered, even just getting to the point of maybe saying, I am struggling with this. And you can kind of release that energy pattern and say like, man, I'm getting my ass kicked, guys. How do I get some help? Like all those things help shift momentum, and a community of like-minded people is very good. We often don't have this opportunity as much with those people at home, our intimate relationships, our intimate friends, because we have very particular relationships with them. It's not always easy to open up about this stuff or feel like you're with a like-minded people in this sense on your health. So the community aspects is huge. Another thing I want to talk about with momentum too is the occasional need for full momentum resets. Because look, even if we have guardrails up and even if all these things, maybe there's something that just totally happened in our family that rocked everything. The loss of an immediate family member or loved one, a big accident, massive change in the world or with our work life, some big shift that really takes what was our stable system and routine and just jars it up to such an extent that all this positive momentum we were building gets shaken up for a while. This is a time where it's really good to do full resets, full recommitments. Get back to that beginning phase one mindset where you're like, okay, I am restarting and resetting. I accept that all this stuff happens. Some of it in my control, some of it not in my control. But what I'm interested in is moving forward in a positive way. I am rewriting my mission statement, redeclaring why I'm really, this is so imperative that I get my momentum going and work on my health. And I'm going to set a 30-day goal to really get after it again. And maybe I restart that 30-day system to start to regain that momentum. This is a part of life. It's a rhythm of life. It's like this whole life experience is just so rhythmic. We have the particular experiences in the beginning of the year, in January, and those experiences change in the spring and the summer, and then the winter. And then also we have the different variables and seasons of life that happen. So we need the skill set to recreate momentum, and that often comes from big recommitments. Like that's why with our program members, we offer every single month, end of month resets. It's like, hey, are you in need of a little shift right now? Like end of month reset. Come on, let's get going. Let's get the momentum going. Most people don't need them. Some people do at some point, and that's perfect because it gives you an opportunity to get going. This is the idea of momentum. You manage momentum, you manage the direction of the energy that's flowing into your life, and ultimately you get to create health for life, like long-term sustainable health. All these plans and programs you may have tried in the past that didn't work for you didn't have the sustainability built in because they didn't have the systems for managing momentum. Oh, and one more thing that I do want to mention. My wife told me to say this on this podcast when I was explaining this idea to her. And she said that you also got to talk about the idea of the weekly rhythm with free meals and cheat meals. We build this into our program where every week you're having a predefined, proactive free meal where you can have something that's quote unquote off the normal healthy plan. This is an important thing to have on occasion because what does it do? It gives you like an ability to like still not feel like you have a system that's so structured and rigid on you that it creates all that pressure that eventually you explode and your momentum derails. What if you had a health system that built all these little psychological levers and aspects in? One that allowed you to enjoy all different types of foods on occasion in balance. One that enabled you to guide and move your momentum forward in a consistent, productive way with surrounded with like-minded people. I know that would change your life. That's what's happening with our Fit Fathers, Fit Mothers. So for those of you that are in our communities listening, then you know this is happening. Keep it up. Keep moving the momentum forward. We're here to help you. And if you're not one of our program members and you want to start improving your health for life and your family's health too, then you can check the show notes. There's going to be links to our Fit Father and Fit Mother programs. And we have the promo code podcast15 where you can get 15% off when you join us today. That's the idea today. Manage momentum, manage your health. I hope this served you, and I'll see you in future episodes, my friend, and I'll talk to you very soon.